Well, here's the update vid. I've actually been working on it. I was actually thinking about just having it run and drive and then doing all the videos, but whatever. I'll just keep going the way it's been going with me working on it and posting it, nothing getting done. So, the motor runs, which is good. Doesn't seem anything wrong with it. Has oil pressure, no tapping, nothing. Turbo's not hooked up, which some people commented about, but why would I hook a turbo up to a motor? I don't even know it runs. I'm trying to get the carburetor to run, without the turbo to start and set the timing and all that. No reason to have that in the way and causing any issues. I had the alternator off because I had to wire up this sensor, which I'll get to later. Let's see. Here's a change. I was complaining about the clearance, like the oil cap and the alternator. So I went on eBay, more eBay goodness, and I have a 1-inch laser cut or CNC milled or something, but it's perfect. Turbo spacer. So this uses 2 gaskets, the T4 spacer, so that raised it up an inch, which gave me plenty of clearance here. I can get the oil fill cap. The alternator can go all the way to the end of its adjustment, so that's all good. Carburetor's on. The Holley Weak-tastic fuel line that they all use is on. I just turned a rubber line for now because I was going to run a metal line, but when I went to the hardware store, I grabbed the wrong size thread for the pump. One size too big. But I will run metal line, don't worry. See if anything's of interest here. I have all spark plug wires on. I got it done with the throttle cable yet. I don't remember this when I took the truck apart, but this actually has a ball and stud throttle cable on. I don't really feel like changing the throttle cable, so I got to get the little ball and stud here, and then I'll probably put this into one of the little Holley style brackets that hangs off this bolt, even though they're kind of crappy, but it'll do the job. See anything else here that's new and different? Oh, have the exhaust mocked up. So it's 3.5 inch, just from Napa. They actually have this stuff for tractor trailers. If you go in the bowels of the back of your Napa, they have this stuff hiding. It's top secret. But yeah, this is 3.5 inch mandrel bent, all down. Goes in the wheel well here, kicks out, comes out right there. Turned out pretty nice. I got to actually do the final welding on it, but it's a nice fit. I'm going to put a hanger down there just to support the weight. But what's nice is I can actually fish this entire pipe through out here. I might disconnect it, or the other way. But I can take the whole exhaust off. There's no disconnects, no clamps or anything. I also decided to just not run any heat to the heater core. I have all the lines plugged. I just figured there was too much crap running around this engine bay, and I'd probably burst the heater hose or something stupid. And I'm probably going to drive it in the winter anyway, even though the frost might be nice, but not the deal with it. But yeah, that's it. Guess we can see if it starts again. Yeah, I guess we'll see if it starts. This is actually manual, for those who forgot. I got the factory gauges hooked up. I have no idea what this is. It was working inside the dash. Like up in here, I pulled the panel off, so that's probably a mystery. It's wired with a lamp cable too. That's always a good sign. See what happens here. Got the Volvo fan mounted. Made a video about this a while ago, so I figured I'd just go over it again, because I think it makes a little more sense now that it's in the vehicle. I just put these little hardware store like reinforcement brackets on there for the top, and then there's 2 like pins on the bottom. I just notched the radiator support out, so those pins go in there just like the factory thing would. So the fan is in there really solidly. So the way this fan works, it's a 2-speed fan. From what I'm told, it's the same as a Taurus, like a mid-90s Taurus fan with a 3-liter. So you have your ground wire, obviously, and there's 2 positive wires. It's a 2-speed fan. And what's neat about this, and then you can do this with pretty much any 2-speed fan, but if you grab this fan controller, this relay setup out of the same car, which is actually, it's part of the fan shroud. I just trimmed the shroud. It used to hang out like right up here, part of the fan. But this will actually control it standalone. So obviously you have your power wire in, the ground's in the fan, your 2 speeds go into it. And these 2 little wires are your 2 speeds. And I have them disconnected here so I can show you what happens when I ground them. So you just ground it out here. And that's high speed. And the other wire is low speed. So like I said, those actually ground to trigger this. But the sensor that controls it, I put into here. And that is, I forget the part number or what it's for, but it's probably online somewhere. It's a mid-80s BMW switch. And there's different part numbers for different temperatures. But what I did was it's kind of hard to see there. There's a break in it. I took a brass pipe plug, or actually it was an adapter. It was to go from, this is 3/8 down to something smaller. So, and I drilled it out to the size of that sensor because it was actually a metric sensor. It's like an M11 by something. And I threaded it at that thread, and then I put a copper washer in between them. So that thread into the pipe thread fittings that all these engines use. So all you need to do is run those wires, that sensor. But the only thing is I don't know which wire is which. So I'm going to have to figure it out once the engine's running and see what the temperature is on it. You know, see which one's low, which one's high, because one of those terminals will trigger before the other to give you the 2-speed. But that's how that works. Oh, and I also installed a 40 amp relay here on the radiator support. So hopefully the fan doesn't draw more than that, or if it does, not relay, circuit breaker. Hopefully it doesn't draw more than 40 amp, or else it's going to keep on tripping that, but we're not sure what it'll draw. So we'll see how that works too.